1 year ago, I sat right here in my sunroom in my home in Texas, and I shared my story. I shared the story of how Dane Boyle Fitness had begun in 2015 as a full-time business, now going on 4 years. I expanded it to talk about how I began to coach online. And the reason I know that is because most of you that are watching this on Facebook will know that you have On This Day, or perhaps you have the app Time Hop, and it tells you what you did 1 year, 2 years, maybe 5 years, even 7 or 8 years at this point, what you did and where you were. And I went back and I watched the video, and the video I was wearing a different shirt. I didn't have my earbuds on. It was sunny. Today it's raining. But a lot can happen in a year. And normally when I go live, whether it's on my personal page, on Dane Boyle Fitness or YouTube, I kind of speak free form. But today I thought it was more important to make notes. I didn't even print them on the computer, which I do oftentimes. But I wanted to go back and I wanted to share where we were on a journey that it continues today. And that journey was at the 100-day mark. On that day, I sat down and I said, I want to share with you a story about where we are and where we're going. And the story was that Tanya and I had decided to care for ourselves first. And we had reached the 100-day mark. And it had taken me 100 days to decide to share with you what we were doing and how we used a container system and how we joined accountability groups and how we plugged in and how we chose to not just chill out and relax at the end of the night with beer or wine. And in that time, collectively, we'd lost about 50 pounds and we felt good. We felt amazing. We made new friends. We started to have champions, which is what we call our clients, both near and far. And how it fired us up and how we knew that something bigger, something better was on the horizon. Now, why would I go back and why would I talk about that? And I still have more notes. I mean, I put that 100 days, at the 100-day mark, I shared my story for the first time. I thought perhaps what I was going to do and how I was going to team up with some friends and what they're doing maybe was hooey, but there was a 30-day guarantee. And I thought, what's the best that can happen, right? It was a decision to care for us first. We know and have learned that if we don't care for ourselves first, we can't care for others. So I challenge you too, as this video goes on and you follow us, to be selfish. Be a little selfish for you, take care of you so you can take care of those that you love. We decided to do a thing called the 21-day fix, and we had both lost 10 pounds apiece, so 20 pounds total, in just 21 days with commitment, with decisions, and with every good decision we made, the next decision became easier. Not easy, but easier. So we put all that together, right? We started to surround ourselves with positive-minded people, supportive people from all over the country that loved us right where we were. And now where we are, 265 additional days, 1 year later. And it's probably, give or take, it's a little bit more than that. We delved in and we did personal development every day. Whether it was our earbuds, whether it was reading, whether it was a song, whether it was a moment of silence, whether it was positive affirmation. So that's where we were at the 100-day mark. And again, why would I go back? Why would I want to share? Because, you know, depending on where you are, watching the video, on September 25th, 2017, I was sitting at a traffic light, minding my own business at about 3:30 in the afternoon, and then it was a boom! I'm like, what the heck was that? And I looked to my right, and there's an 18-wheeler in my passenger door. There's another car pressed up against the back of my car. There are now 7 cars crushed and crumbled together. And I opened the door, and I walked out of the car. And while I waited for the police to come for reports, and I made sure everybody was okay, and everybody of the people, there were no passengers in the car, so 7 human beings had to walk out of the car. I was like, why? Why was I blessed to breathe another day? Why was I able now to have survived 2 pretty epic car accidents? In 2006, I was in a rollover car accident. I was airlifted to San Antonio, and I'm still sitting here preaching, and I say that in a positive way, but saying what I believe, that if dumbbells and treadmills were the answer to the world's health and wellness problems, we all be healthy and well. And why I decided last night or yesterday afternoon while I was standing on the side of the interstate that I was going to take my whisper to a roar, meaning that I'm going to come to you more often and I'm going to invite you to join us. Because with community, with support, with belief, with personal development, with somebody who will listen to you, make you accountable, or hold you accountable, don't make you do anything. Everybody that we get to work with are adults. You choose whether to do what you say you're going to do, to be coachable, to be prepared, and to be on time. But there's a different and a better and enlightened purpose for why we are here. Why we're here. I was given another opportunity to speak, to stand on the mountaintop. And with a bigger purpose and bigger vision comes greater responsibility. I'll never forget that. So for those that have joined us before and have left us a little bit, I'm going to reach out. As you watch this video, there are less than 100 days left in 2017. I'm going to ask you, why at the beginning of the year did you reach out to us? Why did you want the help? Why did you feel like we were the right team? And what happened in between? And what can you achieve and what can you accomplish between now and the end of the year going in? So as I began my own journey, and I said before, you're a little selfish, right? You have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of others. So I can literally tell you for the next 170 plus days what I'm going to do in my personal mission. And I'd be more than happy to share it. All right? So what have I learned from that first time I sat in this room and I said, I chose to partner with Beachbody. Now look, all of what they do are a tool. It's what you are and who you connect with that bring the greatest value. Look, a dumbbell is a tool, a treadmill is a tool, a gym is a tool, a dietitian is a tool, your coach is a tool to help you succeed. So first and foremost, what I've learned since that first 100 days, and now you add the next 265 days, is take responsibility for your actions. When you take responsibility for your actions, you take ownership. That's right. And when you take ownership, you have the power. Yes, you have the power to do what's right, to apologize for what's wrong. And when you do those things, you can move forward. You know what else has happened in the last 265 days? I got to read reading glasses. I have also learned that every choice you make is either going to make you or get you closer or farther from your goals. Think about it. It's pretty simple, right? Every choice you make. So if taking care of your physical being, your body, with fuel is one of your missions, as I believe it should be, when you choose the chocolate cake, is it getting you closer or farther from your goals? Are you satisfying? What need are you satisfying? Where do you want to go? What are you willing to sacrifice to get there? And at that moment, which choice is better? And once again, you're an adult. Make the choice and just know that when you take responsibility and you understand with every action that you take, it either gets you closer or farther from your goals. Again, it's all simple, but it's not easy. When I talk about different things in my existence on this earth, I have formulated what I call Danish. So things I believe, things I will stand up and pound the table on because I believe them to be true. They're abstract enough to be true, like a quality pop song to make people think and turn their head and pause. And they turn their head and pause. And after yesterday's incident, I know for a fact that today is the most important day of your life. Today is the most important day of your life. You should make the best of that day. Because another rule of Danish is never waste a heartbeat. If you make today the most important day of your life and you realize you should never waste a heartbeat, you will live every day full throttle. That doesn't mean you won't sit and meditate. It doesn't mean you won't sit in thought and ponder. But you need to take the actions to make today the best day possible. Since that 100 days where we had lost 50 pounds combined, Tanya and I have now lost almost 80 pounds combined. We've now maintained that weight loss. That has always been my biggest piece. It's the biggest reason all the years I've been in health and wellness that I've never run a Biggest Loser campaign for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, because I've always thought it was short-sighted, because what happens after that 12 weeks in one day? If you don't have a plan, you're more likely to fall backwards. So you have to know. So again, I know where I'm going to go for 175 days. What am I going to do on the 176th day? That ultimately is the most important. Be successful in the 175 days. When I lapse, don't relapse, and never collapse. So what's the next piece? My dream has grown immensely since that day one that I chose to make a difference and make myself number one. And I selfish, but still giving. Those are the keys. My dream is to eliminate as many barriers as possible. As the next 3 years go, I want to be able to engage with you through the tools of the internet, through conference calls, through accountability groups, through Facebook, depending on where that goes, through apps. Whatever the tools are to us, whether you're in California, Maine, Florida, or Washington, and anywhere in between, I want to eliminate the barriers to know that your story matters and that somebody, me, your coach, Coach Boyle, cares about you and your dreams, your mission, and your journey. And that you have written a story up to the point that we work together, and together we can write the remainder of your story. And you can change the chapter today, or chapters today. In this time, from that first 100 days to today, 265 days later, I have learned to trust the process. It's not easy. You know, I'm a high energy guy and I want to go. But when you plug in today and you plug in tomorrow, and then that becomes a week, and that week becomes a month, and that month becomes a quarter, and you add all of those together and you have 4 quarters, now you have a year, you can be sitting right here telling your story and what you did in a year and what you accomplished in a year. So many people I talk to believe if they go back to their old habits that they'll be sitting here in a year with success stories. Look, I hope you do. But look, the best of the best in every discipline have a coach. Look it up. Look at the actors that you like to watch on TV or in the movies or on stage, and I bet they all have coaches. Look at the best vocalists out there. I bet they have coaches. Look at the best musicians. I bet they have coaches. Look at the best athletes. I bet they have coaches. Look at the best business people. I bet they have coaches. You know why? Because we all need somebody to push us a little bit more, to get us up just a little bit earlier, to get us out of our comfort zone, to teach us to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Every one of those people has coaches. So why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? You deserve the very best too. And I'm here to specifically look at you in the eye and tell you that you deserve the best. So think about it. The best of the best have coaches. You know, in the last year, I've had the opportunity to speak at 3 pretty big events. It's been pretty awesome to stand in front of large groups and continue to educate, motivate, empower, and inspire them to dream often, dream big, and dream out loud. I don't usually say it in that order, it just came out, but dream big, dream often, and dream out loud. I use dreams as an analogy for your future, your vision. You have to see it. When I work with people that have a specific goal, whether it's weight loss, a 5K, a new job, better relationships, I ask them to see it. Dream it, close your eyes, and see yourself accomplishing it. What is it going to look like? What is it going to feel like? I also ask them to what is it going to look like if they don't get there? At the end of the day, when you set a big, audacious goal, the goal is important, but it's what you become on that journey that is ultimately most important. I have learned in the last 265 days plus 100 to wake up, show up, and kick ass. Now that's high energy, and that is go. But when I read Hal Erod's book, because I do start with personal development every single day, A Miracle Morning, he had mentioned what he calls the savers as S to sit in silence. And I'm currently in a new group, 7 steps to healthy mind, body, and spirit. And we talked about meditation, and I practiced it really for the first time today. Now I've been sitting in silence when I sit in this very room in the morning in the dark. It's kind of funny because it's called the sunroom, but it's dark. There's some irony there. But I close my eyes, I try to control my breath, and I just try to clear it. And control my breathing and tell myself I'm in control. I do positive I am statements. I am in control of what I do, where I go, how I do it, who I surround myself with, and where I'm going. And you have the ability to do those same exact things. Many of us are great starters, but we're not great finishers. And the biggest bummer about all of this is there's no finish line. That's probably the biggest bummer. We don't just, and you know, even the guys that win the Super Bowl or win the Oscar, right? They don't rest on their laurels. If they already won the Oscar, they probably already are currently working on the next movie. When you win the Super Bowl, on the flight home from wherever it is, they're probably already looking at their roster to see who's going to stay and who has to go. So you never get to stop. That doesn't mean you don't get to appreciate the moment, but it's always moving forward, always moving forward, always moving forward. I have learned that my personal development is a non-negotiable. I learned that you don't have to wake up like I do, but you have to fit it into your day. So whether it's the app called Pep Talks, which is like a pep rally in my ear, and it's a hodgepodge of Les Brown and Tony Robbins and Steve Jobs and all these other speakers put together that tell you that you can do it. That, when you give up X, you gain Y. So that's what it's about. That's what your coach is going to help you with. That's what we want to help you with. We want to educate, motivate, and empower you to believe in our community every day. We want you to know that you can write your story. You are not the product of your past. Your past makes you who you are today, and you can choose who you are tomorrow. I believe you should live for today, remembering the past with an eye on the future. Look, very seldom do you see me going, do this push-up, do this burpee, do this, eat this. Now, we'll talk about all those things because in the 7 elements of health and wellness, which we have now coined E squared, IOP squared, that's emotional health, environmental health, occupational, physical, social, and spiritual health. I always say emotional and spiritual at opposite ends because it's all those things put together that bring ultimate joy and success. And your joy and your success are different. Tanya and I had that very conversation about success the other day. And my vision and her vision for success are completely different. Now, they may start here and somewhere they're going to cross and they're going to come back together. But that's okay. I'm not here to pass judgment on you. I'm not here to tell you what success looks like. I'm going to help you find your success. That's why we've gone from Dane Boyle Fitness to Dane Boyle Success. When you put all 7 elements into your life, one at a time, little by little, to trust the process, you will be successful. We will celebrate, and we will pick you up if you fall down. If you lapse, we will pick you up. If you relapse, we will pick you up. We will not allow you to collapse. Which is why if you go back earlier in the video, I say, I'm going to reach out to you. I'm going to invite those who've never been with us to join our journey. Join us online. I'll explain how. But if you've been with us and you're not with us today, I'm going to leave you a message. I'm going to shoot you an email. I'm going to pick up the phone or shoot you a text. It depends how we communicated best. I'm going to tell you I'm thinking about you and I love you where you are. And I want to ask you why you started the journey and why the journey's been put on pause. And then when we get there, and we see what barriers you've encountered and how you're hitting your head against the wall, I'm going to tell you where we are today and how together we can be successful to get into the next year. How we can set you up for success. I want to share with you, I shared and I didn't know and I still don't know the Bible verse off the top of my head. But in that 100-day journey, we had one of our best friends in the world who we hadn't seen in quite a while come to dinner. And he walked into the kitchen and we're just standing there and we're preparing dinner and we just start the conversation. And like I said, Tanya and I had already lost almost 50 pounds collectively in that first 100 days. It's pretty amazing, right? But we knew that every choice we made was going to get her closer or farther from her goals. We knew by doing it that we were now in control. And we were controlling life instead of life controlling us. And there's the biggest value and there's the biggest point. So he ran out to his car. He said, hold on. And so we waited and we're like, I don't know what he's doing. So he came in and he had a journal. And that journal, apparently he takes to church every week and he writes in it something that the pastor for him, the priest, says that strikes him that he wants to go back and reread. Or maybe it's a Bible passage. And he wrote this, Hebrews 12:11. He said at the time he didn't really know why, but maybe because it was to pass it on to us, which is now in the front of my journal, which I share with my team. So Hebrews 12:11 reads, no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace by those who have been trained by it. Think about that. For what I do and where I ask you to be coached, every discipline, none of it seems pleasant at the time. Changing what you're doing, what you're eating, what you're thinking, who you're with, it's hard. Releasing those people that keep you down, we don't even realize they're keeping you down, is hard. When you bless and release them, it doesn't mean you wish them any harm. They're just not putting you in the right frame of mind. In my personal development, I've learned that you are the product of 5 people that you hang around the most. We should continually examine who we hang around the most. My dad would have said, if you lie with dogs, you get fleas. So think about it. Hebrews 12:11 says, no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. And that's why I said every choice you make makes the next choice easier, not easy. And that's for positivity, positive choices or negative choices. We want to surround you with the ability to have positive choices. Later on, though, when you make these painful choices, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace by those that have been trained by it. So that's where I feel I am today. By making choices, whether it's moving forward with different people in my life, surrounding myself with a much bigger global community that challenge me. I have weekly calls that they challenge me to say, talk to this person, do this. And I say yes, and I don't often get it done. But I'm going to continue, and they're going to say, why didn't you get it done? Don't give me some BS. Why didn't you get it done? And I'll say, yes, you are right. I will get it done. And that's what your coach does for you. I've learned through my personal development that we were meant to do hard things. I've expanded my rules of Danish, and rule number 3, speaking of do the hard things, listen to this. Number 3 is embrace the crap. How many of you have shoveled manure in your life or known anybody that shoveled manure and it smelled and it wasn't fun and it was distasteful? But when you were done and the sun came out and the rain fell from the sky, or you used a hose or a sprinkler, what happened? Things grew. Flowers bloomed. You harvested tomatoes and other fruits and other vegetables, and you had a beautiful bouquet for your table. Because you embraced the crap. You didn't put your head in the sand like an ostrich and hide. Nothing gets better that way. You woke up, you showed up, you kicked ass, you watered the garden, and you prospered. And it doesn't happen in the time frame that we want. I wish everything that I dreamt came true today, but it doesn't. And it seems to me the harder you work, the more enjoyment you get when you get the harvest of fruit. I want to tell you I believe in you. If you're taking the time to watch this and you're still engaged in this video, I believe in you. There's something that's called to you to watch this video. There are a lot of great charismatic people out there. Who do you want to engage with? Who's going to help you be a better you? Who can you connect with? One of my pieces is I will never forget that it's a market segment of 1, and that's you. That you've written part of your story, there's more story to write, and I want to coach you to write the story that you've dreamt, that you dream of. And you know what? Sometimes you haven't even dreamt the biggest dream yet. That's how I feel when we changed our journey and we changed our stars over 100 days plus 265 days ago. I had no idea that my vision and mission would truly be to do most of my coaching right here online. Where I plug in my earbuds, we do conference calls, we plug in because it eliminated a barrier. You can do it all from your home, from your office, from a hotel, from a boat, from a cafe. It doesn't matter. What it does mean is that I can challenge you and send you an email and say, these are the 3 things we talked about. How are you going to achieve them? What was your win of the week? What was your biggest barrier of the week? Think about those questions. And maybe nobody's posed them to you before. Look, I believe that most of us have never truly been outside of our comfort zone. We eat, we sleep, we breathe, we use the restroom because they're innate. We reproduce because we have to survive. The species has to survive. All those things happen because our brain tells us to do it. Any level of brain activity, those are things we have to do. But if you want to be bigger, better, bolder, stronger, healthier, vibrant, that is what Dane Boyle's success brings. That's what connecting with our community brings. After yesterday's incident of being hit by an 18-wheeler on the frontage road and walking away and having All those little synapses, or those are electrons, electrical impulses, ping, ding, ding, ping it all over my brain like crazy. And I know there's a greater and bigger purpose, and I'm inviting you to join in that mission. So the three most important pieces of Danish, I have over 100 written, and I'm working on my ebook to share more and more about my vision, my dreams, to help it become part of your vision, your dream, so you can make it and shape it and put your name after it. One is every day is a great day. It never once did I imply that it was a perfect day, but it's a great day because you've been blessed to live it. Two, and I mentioned this before, today is the most important day of your life. Today is the most important day of your life. And perhaps the most important rule we've ever written is never waste a heartbeat. For those that have lived, loved, and lost, you guarantee that you're not guaranteed another day. So again, the three top rules of Danish are every day is a great day, today is the most important day of your life, and never waste a heartbeat. So I'm sitting here because I'm taking my whisper to a roar. I want you, and I'm telling you, to join us, to be part of a healthy community. And health and fitness have bastardized to think just sweaty health, but it's more than that. It's physical health, it's mental health, it's emotional health, environmental health, intellectual, spiritual, and social. Those are all pieces, which to make that easier to remember, it's E squared IOP squared. So what is that? It's emotional health, environmental health, intellectual, occupational, physical, social, and spiritual health. How can you do it? You can join our Dream Academy. You can join our health and wellness and fitness groups. You can join today to our free, if you're watching right now on September 26th, our free 14-day 7 steps to healthy mind, body, and spirit. Today, for free, to set you up for the remainder of 2017, getting you to 2018. It takes one step, one choice to reach and change your life. Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to embrace your fear? If you're scared, it's what you are meant to do. So I ask you to subscribe right here so that you won't miss another video, because I'm going to come more and bring little bitty snippets that are shorter and longer perhaps. If you do that, I'm going to invite you to share your email with us so that our Danish newsletter goes out to you, where we constantly feed you the power of positivity, and that's healthy food, healthy fuel, mind, body, spirit, and soul. So again, it's time to take my whisper to a roar and invite you to join us and ask you, where can you be 1 year from now? No, that's not true. Where can you be at the end of today? And take today to tomorrow, to a week, to a month, to 3 months, to 4 quarters together equals 1 year. And it starts with one choice. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Let's roar together.